Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Valiant EQ number 5 for this month. Now this is all about your science champions. You can bring in your science champions. The nodes are going to be 1-2 Punch, Erudite Ruse and also Avarice. So the way this works, you need to apply either a Petrify, Slow or Wither, Enervate or Weakness. Basically all of those debuffs that science champions have. And once you knock them down, they will get a Petrify. Now, every 15 seconds, there is going to be a race node that will give the defender power gain. And because you are going to mitigate the power gain with the Petrify, you're going to gain Furies with that. So first fight is against Sentinel, and I'm using a Void here. And you will notice I've already got all of those 10 my Furies, and that is just melting away Sentinel. So bring in your science champion. I've given you quite a few options on the right side of the screen. Just check them out. The path fights are super easy. The difficult one is going to be the boss, that is going to be Cassandra Nova. Now speaking of the boss, this is going to be boss number 1 and you will need champions that can apply kind of shocks. I'll get back to it. Why do you need that? But the first thing is I would suggest you to keep Cassandra Nova to an SP1. I mean, both specials can be evaded, that's not a problem. Now she's going to be stun immune. For that you have to wait and let her throw her heavy attack, and you dex the last part of her heavy attack if you don't want to be stunned. So once you have that out of the way, you have an opening, you can attack her. And top of it, she is going to have protection as well, so you have to kind of intercept her to do 100% damage, otherwise she will take 90% damage. And don't worry, after her special attacks, especially special 1, she goes into a channeling phase, so it gives you an easy opening to do quite a bit of damage to her. Now, what's important here, that whenever she will use a special 1, she is going to apply daunted passives on you. And if you have 10 daunted passives on you, the next special attack of Cassandra Nova is going to be unblockable. So you have to make sure that you remove that. And to remove that, if you apply a shock on Cassandra Nova, those daunted passives are removed. So that's why it's important to bring in a shock champion. I'm just using Red Skull here. I'm keeping her to an SP1, just dexing all the hits and going back in. I attempt intercept when she doesn't have a bar of power with a light attack, and slowly but surely I am able to take her down. Now moving on to the next path, we are going to take the left side, and the first fight is going to be against Sandman, just bringing in Silk. Now Silk has her own physical vulnerability, and when you knock down the opponent with the physical vulnerability with slow, there is going to be a Petrify applied on him. And because the Petrified is there, whenever they will have a power gain with Avarice, you are going to gain Furies, and before you know it, you're up to 7 Furies, and Sandman will die super quick. I think I was trying to wait out here for my striker before I threw that special attack, but that wasn't never required because the criticals were up to 39,000, 20,000, and before I could throw my SP2, I was able to take down Sandman. And then we have a Shocker. Now Shocker is unique in a way that he will reduce the stun durations, and after he uses SP1s and he gets his charges, he's gonna go unblockable. So he is quite annoying to deal with like that. So that's the first SP1, that's 49 charges. I'm waiting on the second one. In hindsight, I should have pushed him to an SP2. Now when he goes unblockable, the easiest way is not to intercept him, is to dash back and parry. It's only mediums are going to be unblockable, so if you go dash back and parry, you can easily get an opening. That's what I always do against Shocker. It works out for me. So let's check it out. Dash in, you dash back, and you just parry. You wait for him to dash in, parry, just like that. And you can use that technique to deal all sorts of damage. Don't worry about the Furies, you'll get them anyway with Joe Fixes. He's such a tank. And before we know it, we are at the end of the section 2 of left path. Upcoming is going to be an Ironman Infinity War. For him, you have to take care about his auto block and also his power gain with the armors at when he's below 15% health. So just keep him to SP1. SP2 is also easily evadable. What I'm trying to do here is to push Ironman is to get to an SP2 and then throw that out so I can control the power with Wither. So even if he gets down to an SP2, I don't have to worry that I can push him to an SP3. Deathless Shield is amazing, and once you do throw an SP2 out, notice there are two with the charges. Now the fight is under control. All I need to do is to deal that damage, not worry about the power gain, not worry about the avarice, and because I have the Wither up, I'm going to gain all of those furies, and at the end at 15%, just use only heavy attacks, and you will have the defender down. Next up, we're going to have Cassie Lang. Now, I brought in Luke Cage, so maybe I could get all of those Furies, but I don't get them because I don't apply any of the debuffs required by the node. But the good part is that Luke Cage is crazy himself. He's going to apply all of those exhaustion debuffs, and with every one of them, he is going to increase his damage. So even though he's not taking any advantage of the science nodes, the damage is a bit nutty. So here we are. I just have to make sure that I take care about the power gain and also the evade. She might evade you, so that is going to be a little bit of trouble. So just like that. So just take care of the evade. For that, you can just use 4-hit combos instead of completing. Missed a big SP2 because of evade there. So that's alright. I'm eventually able to get her down into a striker, and there she goes. So after the 4 fights, there is Cassandra Nova number 2. And here I'm going to use, I think is probably one of the best counters to Cassandra Nova, that is going to be a Guardian. Now why he is a great counter? Because he has all of that energy damage resistance, and Cassandra Nova, all of her damage is energy. So we pushed her to an SP1. Now we're gonna wait her to, we're gonna wait it out. And there we go. We dex. Now she's gonna channel. I'm gonna go back in, throw my SP1 out, gain my charges, and then wait for her to throw the SP1 out again. She throws a heavy attack. I went back. I don't want to be stunned. So here we are. Tried to auto block it, messed it up. Now she's below 1 bar of power. I attempted intercept and I got it down. Big SP2, and look at that damage. She is down to 15%. Now there's an SP2, that's okay, not really a big deal. The last set you have to evade, but I messed that up, but that's okay. Got it another intercept with an SP1, and before you know it, there goes Cassandra Nova. So just be careful about intercepting. When she doesn't have 1 bar of power, that is the safest time to remove the protection. The shocks will help you keep the daunted debuff in place, so it doesn't go above 10, and you're good to go. Now the third section has only 3 fights. So the first one of it is going to be Scorpion. I brought in a Count Nefaria, so I can throw those special ones and heal back up a little bit as well. And because of the abilities, I am going to apply a Petrify on Scorpion, and the Erudite Ruse is going to help me gain that power. Actually, you don't apply a Petrify, but because Count Nefaria mitigates power gain anyway, so he's going to keep getting those Furies. So whenever there's a power gain on the opponent with Count Nefaria, you don't need to worry because you'll gain those Furies just like that. And the final one before the boss is going to be Thor. I'm going to bring in my rank 4 Jessica Drew and just slowly hit Thor and take him out. So very super easy fight, just SP1, just keep him to an SP1. SP2 is also easily evadable. You can spam your specials with the Jessica Drew, or you can go to one SP2 then into SP1s, all of that works. So I am just going in with SP2 into SP1 rotation. Just waiting for him to throw that SP2 out. He can be a bit annoying to deal with. Here we go. And in the end of it, there's going to be a good SP1, and then we didn't even need the detonate on the power sting, and we took Thor out. Now, to be honest, it is long, the EQ with 2 parts, but the good thing from the last EQ is they've reduced 1 fight in every section. So essentially the fights have gone from 14 to 10 only. So that is good, and you can get it done faster. Now Cassandra Nova is there as the final boss, and I'm gonna brought in Shuri. Shuri is like an amazing or a perfect counter here because the ease of access of shocks. Because every time you apply a shock, you reduce the daunted on you, and once the damage of Cassandra Nova depends on the special attacks, on how many Daunteds you have. And the way you remove Daunteds from yourself is you apply shock on Cassandra Nova. And nobody applies shock better than Shuri in the tech class, so she is probably the perfect counter. The only thing you need to take care next is to make sure that you are intercepting her when the protection is up, and because there are those passive shocks, you are able to even uh, still have shock damage even though protection comes back up and dispels all the active debuffs, but the passive ones stay there. So make sure that you apply more of the passive ones and you should be good for this fight. So yeah, that's about it guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful. I am going to still leave the second part that you can, if you want to watch, you can watch out. I'm not going to comment on it. And also the second part will not include the first two fights because they're already in the beginning of the video. You can check them out. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I would love to help you out.